Welcome back to our conversation about the year in the news media with our guests Emily Rooney of Channel 2 and Dan Kennedy of Northeastern University. All right, what about on the national scene? I'm going to start with you here, Dan. There's a lot to talk about and very little time here, but what jumps out at you as a very significant moment this year?
I think the most important national media story in the past year has just been that Facebook has had the lid ripped off of it. I think that it stands exposed as a company that that is really just doing some very evil things out there. I'm going to give just one example out of dozens that I could pick. When we learned recently that Facebook was simultaneously claiming that criticism of it was anti-Semitic, while at the same time going after George Soros, who had criticized Facebook, playing into some of the worst anti-Semitic attacks on Soros. Talk about trying to have it both ways, and in a really evil way.
Yeah, I think Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard before he got to the ethics class.
Oh, that's
if in fact they do one.
I'll just add to that Twitter, too, because while they've tried to clamp down on certain things that are posted on Twitter, they've done a very poor job of it. And, well, and they have made some edits on that, too. They've taken down certain, you know, posts and that kind of stuff. But
I agree with you completely. It's just that in the general scheme of things, Twitter is not that important, except to the people in the media.
That's exactly true.
Well, I'm going to throw out one here, and I talked about this, Emily, on your 20th anniversary edition of Beat the Press. The now, I think, complete willingness of many in the media to call a lie, and no more pussyfooting around it.
It's done a lot of good.
We've talked, well, I don't know. Well, you look at the election results, I can't prove it, but it seems to me that's a real problem for this administration, that they're perceived as just untrustworthy. President Trump had low character ratings during the campaign anyway, and when you're repeatedly being called out as a liar, it's got to take its toll. But I wish the media had been a little more aggressive about that under the previous presidency, which arguably took more concrete hostile action toward the freedom of the press than this one has.
I agree. But calling the president out as a liar has actually been going on since he got into office. It might have picked up some speed recently, especially with recent developments, with what we know now about his lawyer, Michael Cohen. Now the president's calling his own lawyer a liar. Oh, I didn't know that he was going to break the law, when it's clear he directed him to.
I still think it's hard to know in many cases whether President Trump is lying or whether he really believes what he's saying, in which case he's delusional, which certainly isn't better. But I'm still uncomfortable with using the term lie.
All right, well, and nor me. 2019 should be interesting. Emily Rooney, Dan Kennedy, thank you both very much. Appreciate it. And that's our time for this morning. Stand by for more news from my colleagues, and we'll see you next weekend.